Okay, we're going to have a look at a few more definitions now, so very simple ones that you probably know already. So the first one is the definition of a factor. So a factor of a number is any number that divides into that number. So let's say we take the number 10. What are the whole numbers that divide into 10? Well, 2 divides into 10, 3, 4, and 5 divides into, and 10 divides into 10. So the factors of the number 10 are 2, 5, and 10. I could write 10 is equal to 2 multiplied by 5. So, and if you look at that, 10 is equal to 2 times 5. 2 divides into 10 and 5 divides into 10. So anyway, the factors of 10 are 2, 5, and 10. The factors of, let's say, the number 20. What numbers divide into the number 20? 2 divides into 20. 3, 4 divides into 20. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and 20. So one thing that you'll notice is that the number itself is always a factor of itself. So 20 is a factor of 20 and 10 is a factor of 10. Let's say we have a look at, say, n squared, where, and we'll say that n is a natural number. So what are the factors of n squared if n is a natural number? Well, the factors of n squared, n divides into n squared. So the factors of n squared would be, one of the factors is n, because n divides into n squared, as long as n is a natural number. Let's look at, say, n cubed. And we'll say again that n is a natural number. So the factors of n cubed, what divides into n cubed? Well, n divides into it. N into n cubed goes n squared. But also n squared divides into it. And also n cubed divides into it. Remember, a factor, the number itself is always a factor of itself. So a factor is just any number that divides into that number. Okay, you can also have this idea of the highest common factor. So highest common factor is the biggest number that divides into 2, or it doesn't have to be 2, it could be 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever amount of different numbers. So say if we take the numbers, let me think, 10, or let's see, 100, and let's say these two numbers, 100 and 105. What's the highest common factor of those two numbers? So what's the biggest number that divides into both of them? So the highest common factor, sometimes it's given HCF, highest common factor of these two numbers, let's say I'll write it like this, highest common factor of 100 and 105 would be equal to 5. It's the biggest number that divides into both of them. You could have 3 numbers, so you could say you could have 20, we want the highest common factor of 20, 10, and let's say 100. So the highest common factor of those 3 numbers, the HCF of them, is the biggest number that divides into 20, 10, and 100, and that would be 10. So this time the highest common factor is one of the numbers, so that's fine. It's allowed to be that. That's the idea of a factor. A factor is a number that divides into a number, and then the highest common factor is the biggest number that divides into 2 numbers, or 3 or 4 or whatever. Okay, the second idea is the idea of a multiple of a number. So it's very simple as well. A multiple is any number a multiple of a number, is any number that the number divides into. So for example, the multiples of 7 are any number that 7 divides into. So 7 divides into 14, 21, could keep going. They're all multiples of 7, 28, 35, 42. Just I could keep going like that. So it's any number that the number divides into. It's just the multiples.